What's going on, guys? Plastic Beach X3 back here with another One Piece sim video, and this time it's going to be another ranked ladder video utilizing the Pluffy strategy. If you haven't already checked it out, go check out the deck profile on my channel from when I took first at a case tournament, and I took first at the store regional in Ohio with the Pluffy deck. All the games from the store regional are also on my channel if you haven't seen those already, so go check all those out. And I go into a little bit more depth of the list there. But essentially, the list I played for these ranked games that we're about to watch is essentially the same, but I cut one Onami and put in one more Law. So now we're on 2 Law, 1 Onami, still on the Game of Knife, still trying it out. Kind of liking it more and more as I keep playing it, but it's one of the cards I would cut first if I cut anything. So that's where we're at right now. I'm just going to get into the games, get the video rolling, so... I'm going to turn on the music. I hope it's not too loud. And then we will go into the games. So the first one is going to be a Pluffy mirror. We're going to go first, of course, because we have the option to. And I actually keep this hand because it has Law, Sangoro kind of get punished, but the hand didn't look too bad because we had the Game of Knife as well, and this is like one of the matchups where Game of Knife is pretty good. So we kind of get punished not finding a Zoro or anything, or a Luffy Taro off of our Law, so that sucks. I was really banking on that. Luckily we top deck a Zoro before our 4 Dawn play, so we can actually swing 5, leader ability, play the Zoro, and we actually get a 7-drop play, so not terrible. Obviously, we would love to have Luffy Taro here, but we just don't. They're just going to play Sanji and pass, which is not the best play for them either. They want to play their kid if they can. But we are going to go Sanji, tap the Sangoro. We're going to swing 6 into the Sangoro. They give us a 1k, and then I just swing 5 just to see if they'll give me another 1k before I swing 7 into the Sangoro. But they actually decided to take the 5, so I'm like, okay, take a 7, and then they have to take a 7. And we just leave the Sangoro alone in this spot. So, not sure I agree with that play by the opponent. I would have probably just given them a 1k, 2k. But I also don't know their hand. Because now they're in a rough spot if they want to take their life to ramp. They don't need to, obviously. They're on 7 Dawn. They can just play Luffy Taro and move on with their lives. But, if they do want to take another life, like next turn or something, when they go to 8 Dawn because they Luffy Taro this turn, then... they're going to be on pretty low life, so they're going to start 5. We'll just give them a 1k that we're not going to ever use. And they're actually going to play Bond Clay so that they can trigger their Sangoro's ability to draw a card, fair enough, and then just play a Zoro, and then take the life. So I thought that was crazy that they ended up taking the life in the end there. I'm just going to use my leader ability because my plan in this spot is, because they have so many cards in hand, I'm just going to play Law in either Sangoro or Kid, depending on how I feel at the end of this turn. But we actually ripped a Mom out of life, so I'm thinking I'm actually just going to put the Sanji into life. There's an argument I could have put the Bon Clay into life instead. There's an argument I could have put the Bon Clay into life instead, just so he can't get this 9 swing. But I also don't want him to draw any more cards. He's already at 8 cards in hand. But he's going to go 9 into 7. I think I just counter that. And then he's going to go 6 into 6. I counter what I can, I guess. Keeping the Law in hand so that we could potentially destroy his hand next turn, depending on what we draw off the top. And we'll see what he does. Obviously he's going to tap out, so I feel like protecting the board isn't terrible. So then, yeah, he's just going to go 9, swing into the 7 draw, or the 7k, and pass. I'm going to swing 2 into 1, see if he gives me a 2k before I Law him, and he does. So that's fine with me. I'm just going to Law him. And now Game of Knife is like where it shines right here. I'm going to Game of Knife the Luffy and be able to clear it. And then I can also clear the Zoro with the Zoro. Pass turn with no counter, but I'm actually, in a fantastic spot in my opinion. Especially since he can only go Luffy Taro into Onami. And I have this law for if he tries to clear one of these two, depending on how he played this turn. So he's obviously going to go 8 into 6. And I think we just block this every time. And then we have Luffy Taro into Zoro. So I'm actually going to do that first. See if we draw into a Gum Gum Giant. We don't, so we can actually use all of our Dawn here if we wanted to, or we could bluff one. I think I decide mid turn to actually decide to bluff one here. So we're gonna go 7, 6, 9. Should have went 6, 7, 9, obviously, but I was debating on whether to bluff that giant or not. But we get the blocker out of the way. We put him at 1 life. And we have a 2K in our hand. We're not dead this turn. Because if he wants to rush Luffy, he's going to go 5 at life here. We're just going to counter it every time. If he wants to go rush Luffy, we don't die. I'm circling his name because his name is Play Fast, and he's not playing very fast. They're going to go 5 at life. We'll just counter so we can guarantee we don't die to any rush Luffy. Or rush Sanji. They're going to go 8 into 6. Obviously, we let that one go. And then they're just going to actually 9 Mom, put the Zoro into life, gain a life. And we're just going to test the waters with a 9. And a 10. Into a 13. If he takes it. If not, we can still go 7, 8 with Law Leader. I'm actually going to, since he has a Dawn up, I think I hold up 1 Dawn just in case. Like he tries to go into board, he has it, and then he goes into board. And in hindsight, I probably should have just went all out because I'm not dead, but I also just don't want to lose all my characters. Him put up a blocker and I lose. So I think this was the better play. Just to go 12 in case he did have it, because I don't know if he has a 2K or not. He ended up not having another 2K. But how was I supposed to know that? And he's just going to go 8 to 8. I'm just going to Gum Gum Giant just to see what cards I can counter out of from now on. Which I think is the right play here. Even though it seems bad that you're going +4 on a 1K. What requires a 1K, I have no card. Like, I need to filter my hand regardless this turn. So I might as well do it now and see what I can counter out of later. Luckily, we draw into double 2K. It's pretty good. One of them being an Usohachi in case he puts up a blocker. He's going to put 1 under Mom, swing 10 into 8. We just let that die. Because I don't want to give up my Usohachi. And then they're going to go 9 into Mom. We counter, and we can keep the Usohachi for the blocker that he telegraphed. Go 16. So that's that game. Next game, going to be a Blackbeard matchup. I won the die roll, got to go first. Gonna keep this hand because we have the Zoro Zero and at least 1 5-drop. Gonna be hunting for another 5-drop to play on our 10 Dawn turn whenever we hit 10 Dawn. In this matchup, generally you're hitting 10 Dawn a lot faster than you would otherwise because you're not using Luffy Taro's ability. And we luckily did draw into another Sangoro, so next turn my plan is to just hard play the Luffy with no effect, because it's very hard for them to out that card. Even though you're not getting the effect, obviously, it's still a 7K. It's still a 7-drop, which is very hard for them to out. So I usually just play it no matter what, and then next turn I can use my leader ability again and go to double 5-drop. They're gonna go 6 of life, play the Kuzan, play the Van Augur into the dot cube, kill the Zoro. Fair enough. But from now on, they're going to have to commit more cards to the field to be able to clear anything that they want to clear, because I'm not going to play another 4-drop. So here we're just going to, actually, since we're going on to 1 life, we're going to play the Chopper Blocker, and the Chopper Blocker is busted in this matchup, being able to restand it and block with it every turn, so block and swing every turn. The Game of Knife is like slightly useful in this matchup, just if they ever do tap the Burgess early, you can clear it very easily with the Game of Knife. so it's useful in that aspect. They're going to take a Burgess off of their stage, play the Kuzan out a Van Augur on the Luffy, and then dot Q the Luffy. They're going to go 8. I think we just block 2k, 1k, keep our life. And then they just have the leader ability every turn from now on. So we're going to start 7 at life. Hopefully not hit a trigger, but they counter out instead. And then we'll go 7 to life with Chopper. And then we can still play our Captain, so we can still swing another 7. Play at our Captain Kid, hold up the Gum Gum Giant, and hold up the Chopper, and gain an extra Dawn in case we draw into another Gum Gum Giant. So I'm feeling pretty safe here. Not sure there's much they can do. They can obviously kill a body on field and then play a Teach. But we still have 2 swings if that does happen. So we can, you know, hopefully catch them on at least 1 break in hand. I think they still have that, so I know they still have that Burgess in hand from last turn. And honestly don't remember what else they've searched. This is my age, so no 10-drop Teach, which I think almost just guarantees me the win here. And they are going to draw into a 2k counter. Going to double finger pistol my 2 5-drops, swing 6, I'll take it because I can just go 6/6. Gum Gum Giant the first one, and then just simply 2k the second one that we drew off the Giant, and we win the game. So going into the next game here, it's going to be against a Doflamingo player. They actually won the die roll, so they're going to go first. They're going to play their Perona. Seems pretty good. Our hand, I believe I think I kept this one just because we did technically have a 4-drop in the Hitakiri. No, we had a 5-drop in the Sanji. But we do draw into the Zoro, so I think since they teached, let me pause this 1 second. My plan here was to play the Sanji on 5 and then start going into the Sanji rushes. However, since they teached into Boa, they're obviously down on cards. They only have 3 cards, so I'm just gonna tax their hand here and go 6 leader ability, play the Zoro. I'm playing into Pudding pretty hard, but you know, sometimes you just have to. Like, it's obviously the best play, so. And if they have Pudding, they have Pudding. If not, then I potentially can actually win this game, you know, being thrown off my curve and them having Teach into Boa. So we're just going to counter out of both 7 swings here. They're going to bounce our Zoro Zero, as usually happens. We top deck into a Luffy Taro, which makes this turn a lot more interesting. But in the end, I just decided to go with the Sanji. Just too much pressure on board. I need to clear stuff, so I decided to tap the Teach, swing 5 into 3. They let it go, and then 7 into 5, and they let it go. So now I'm feeling a little less pressured. Still have 3 life with a 7k on the field. They're going to law, bounce both their searchers. Play another Sengoku, search a Teach, swing 5. We just have to counter that, and then swing 7. We have to take that. Luckily, top deck into a Mom here, so that changes up my play quite a bit. See if I can't kill this Boa. Excuse me. And I think we just play the Mom here, even though losing a little bit of tempo, but we do remove the body and gain a life, so I think it's just too valuable to do. Whereas we could have like played the Sanji and potentially cleared both, like the Law at the very least, or potentially both bodies since they're so low on cards. I think just Mom to gain gaining the life is too good in this spot. They go 7. I decided to give 2 2Ks over that, and then 5 give another 2K. Because I really want to keep this Sanji, but they decided to go 7 into the Sanji, and since they did that, I don't really see any reason why I shouldn't just play this Luffy next turn instead, since they're not going to play. They had 5 Dawn, so in this moment, hold up, what is it? Where? Before I play the Luffy. In this moment, they have 5 Dawn standing, so I'm worried that they're going to play another 4-drop and I'm going to have to play the Sanji to tap it to clear all 3 bodies this turn, whatever the 4-drop is. But since they put 5 down under Sengoku and swing 7 into 7, thinking that I didn't have any 1Ks in hand because I 2K'd out of everything, then I think it's safe to just throw this away, because I can clear these 3 bodies now and still play my Luffy. So that's why I did that. Held off on the Sanji, giving up the Sanji. Just going to clear the Sengoku, clear the Law, and then clear the Weevil, and then play my 9-drop 10K swing. We rip into a Gum Gum Giant, which is super good, obviously, in this spot right here. We were holding up the bluff anyway because we didn't need to use it for our swings. They're just going to go 10 of life. I'm going to take that. And they are at 6 cards. We top deck the Law, so it makes it interesting of how I want to do this here. I think I just start 9 into the Weevil. But I'm also considering playing this Law to see if I can get a Luffy Taro into Sangoro. And see if I even need to play the Law. So I'm going to go 7 of life, see if they take it. They do not take it, so they're not playing into the Law. So I think at this point, I want to Law into Luffy Taro Sangoro, but I luckily draw into a Sanji rush, which is just way better. So I can tap down the Boa and clear it and still get a life swing with the Luffy. They're going to go 14 of life. I think I'm just going to take this. I know Perfume Femur is obviously a card, but we do have double Gum Gum Giant. I'm going to try to get them to take 2 life so that I can Law them. But I actually don't Law them here. I'm just going to swing 9. They're going to counter out. I probably should have just Lawed them there, but I think I was dead to Gravity Blade trigger, so or even Red Rock trigger. So I think it, you know, even though it would feel good to Law them there and get 2 cards out of hand, it's probably not worth it. Not knowing their last life. You know, they had the Boa obviously, but they also had a life on top of it. And if that life is Gravity Blade, or as you can see, they had Gravity Blade and Red Rock, so if it's one of those 2, then we just lose on the spot. We could potentially draw 2Ks with the Giants, of course, but you know, you can't just bank on that. But that's why I didn't use the Law to discard their hand and just swung out, because I wasn't going to kill them anyway. So, and like getting 2 cards in hand, it wasn't like it's going to make me more likely to kill them. I'm killing them regardless next turn, so that's why I held off on playing the Law. And then we win the game, obviously, on the backswing because they can't kill us. Alright, let's go into the 4th game of this video. Another Blackbeard here. We're going to go first. I believe they actually chose to go second. I'm going to keep my hand because I have the 4-drop and 1 5-drop. I could potentially get into a second 5-drop. Draw into the 9-drop Luffy, which is one of the worst cards in the matchup for sure. But we do have double Giant for late game to filter out some of these bricks. We're going to start 5. And they take it. Going to play the Zoro search. We drew into another 5-drop, so that's pretty good. We don't really have a play next turn, but we could definitely... I like playing this 6-drop Sanji in this matchup on my 7-Dawn turn if I whiff on the Luffy Taro. So I'm actually going to give up the Usopp on this 5 swing just so I can potentially next turn play this Sanji, swing 6/6. Because I do like playing it because it's very hard for them to kill a 6-drop rather than a 5-drop. Obviously you can just finger pistol a 5-drop, whereas you can't. You have to like stronger finger pistol the Sanji. So I just like playing it, and it's a blocker, so it's like not terrible. They are going to thwart my plans of playing a double 5-drop here because they are going to swing a 6 and 7, and we didn't have a 2K, so we just have to give up our counter to save this Zoro, but they kill it anyway with a black hole. But it's better than them like killing it with the swing and then also having like another Burgess or something. We're going to take our life because I might end up playing this Luffy, just hard play this Luffy. Also just wanted to see what my options were. If I just want to play the Sangoro, swing big into the Jesus Burgess or whatever. And I'm not dead anytime soon, so we took the life and we luckily hit the Gamma Knife, which is really good in this spot. We can play the Gamma Knife and ensure a kill on the Burgess, and then play the Sanji, hold up our Gum Gum Giant, They're going to try and swing 8 into our Sanji, but I'm just going to Gum Gum Giant. And then they're going to play Kuzan into the Burgess. We're going to start a 7 with the Sanji, of course, so that they can't hit any funny triggers. Well, I guess they could hit I bid 300 million or 500 million. But regardless, we're just going to tap out here, play Zoro Zoro, pass turn. We're not dead to anything but like a Rush Burgess, I guess. But they're never going to play that. They're going to play their 10 drop, swing 5 at life. Deciding if I want to take this or not, because if they turn this 9k into my Sanji blocker, it would kind of suck. But I also don't want to die, but we rip a brick, unfortunately. So if they do turn it now, you know, it didn't pay off. If we hit a 2k, obviously that's nasty. But they are going to lead their ability. They just have to, or otherwise we're going to mom their Burgess. But they do go down to 0 cards in hand, so I think the best play here, since I cannot kill them because they have blocker double life, I just go 12 into the Burgess to ensure that it dies. And just hold up 4 Dawn. Or it would actually be 3 Dawn since I've already used a Gum Gum Giant. I can hold up 3 instead of 4. Because there are 3 left in the deck, 2 in my hand. And we'll just pass, and we should have an unlock here. They're going to try to go 13, 14, but we have the counter for it. And we win the game. Alright, going into the last one of this video. Going to be against a Shanks player. We are going to choose to go first. Feels pretty good. We have 4 drop into Luffy Taro, which seems pretty good. They're going to play a Sanji, which I thought was crazy. And because of that, I decided to swing 5 just to see what they're going to do, because I've never seen anyone play Sanji against me, so I might as well test the waters and actually think about this for a minute, but they should every time just use leader ability. We're going to play Zoro into Zoro, just so we have something to play off of the Luffy Taro next turn. They're going to go 5, we'll give them a 1k. And they're going to play Lucky Roo, Sanji ability, swing 7. It's a weird matchup to play that Sanji into, but you know, to each his own. We're going to swing 6 into the Sanji. They're going to Lucky Roo it. And then we're just going to go 5 into the Sanji, and they're going to leader ability 2k, which is totally fine with me. In this spot, I think I end up taking this 9-drop Luffy, but I believe the correct play was probably this Luffy Taro, just to establish another Luffy Taro. 2 more bodies that they will have a hard time killing. But we just don't do that. We're going to have the 9-drop Sanji instead. They're going to go 7-7. We just counter out of both. I'm going to start with a 5 into the Sanji. They finally let it go. We're going to go 6, and I'm hoping that they tap this chopper and take the free leader ability here, so that I can turn my attention into it, and they do. If they would have countered that, it would have been preferable for me, because I have the 9-drop on the way. But they don't, they let it go, and we'll just get a life off of them with the 9-drop rush. They're going to play Dragon, go 7. We just have to counter this. And then 9 into the Zoro, which is fair enough. We're just going to go 8, start with an 8, see where we're at. They're going to leader ability 2k, 1k. That means that we can go 5, and it looks like I'm just going to play this Zoro Zero into Kid. Hopefully find a Gum Gum Giant. We don't, but we do find a 2k, which is pretty good with our blocker. So that if they do try to like play a Beckman or something, we're not dead. If they try to play Whitebeard, I don't believe we're dead either. They could play Rayleigh and we're still not dead. So they're just going to start 5. Now Roger is a little scary, but I'm holding off on it. I could still block the Dragon Swing if he just... yeah, so if he just taps his Dragon, swing 9, I'm going to block it, and then that way I don't die to Roger. Obviously, he would just play Roger first, so I guess I do die to Roger, but regardless. It's too early in the morning. But here's the list one more time. I'm going to have some more ranked games coming out soon, hopefully, of me playing the Pluffy strategy, but also of other players playing different decks on the replay system, so be on the lookout for all those. GG's to all those guys. Make sure to subscribe to Plastic Beach X3 for more One Piece videos, and peace out.